The Academy Awards. A night of magic. A night of glamour. But most importantly, and above all, a night of unhealthy self-absorption.
You like me!
Yeah, let's be real. The Academy Awards is a night, really, for celebrities to, well, celebrate each other for being celebrities.
That sounds awful.
However, the Academy Awards serve another purpose, a purpose that I personally enjoy and try to focus on when it comes to the event. I feel the Academy Awards are a time for film appreciation. The winner is kind of more or less beside the point for me.
And the Oscar goes to...
I don't care. These films are nominated for Best Picture. They've already won in my book. So let's take a look at these films nominated for Best Picture and talk about why they should win Best Picture. Hello everybody, welcome to Film Fireside. Today's episode we will be talking about Mank, directed by David Fincher, was nominated for more than 6 Academy Awards. Mank was nominated for 10 Academy Awards. Many good things about this film. One of those obviously being Best Picture, so let's take a dive right in and discuss why Mank should win Best Picture. Obviously, this goes without saying, but we'll be discussing heavy spoilers for this film. Make sure you've seen the movie first before you continue on with this video. I'm actually gonna not make too many points. This is gonna be a little bit of, this is gonna be a shorter one of all these because I spent a lot of time on the what you need to know before watching Mank video and just my review of Mank. I think a lot of the elements of why it should win Best Picture are kind of contained in the what you need to know before watching video. Just the fact that it's just paying tribute to one of the greatest films ever made, and it does that in its execution, technical execution as well. More specifically, the cinematography, it's very clear that a lot of the camera movement and angles chosen and frames chosen resemble, or at least call attention to, our memories of the film Citizen Kane. Yeah, I really have one major point to make about this, and to me it's in the theme of the film. One of the main pinnacle elements of this film is in the creation of truth, or perhaps the manipulation of truth, creating truth to fit my version of truth. What I want to be true, perhaps, is a better way of saying that. There's one scene in particular that really hones this point here. L.B. Mayer is seen talking to an audience of his employees, mainly actors and crew people, and he explains how the Depression is causing a lot of problems and he's gonna have to roll back their salaries. And he does so in a very emotionally charged way.
On that, you have the sacred word of L.B. Mayer.
He stands just before his audience of employees and gives the performance of his lifetime to convince them to roll back their salaries.
How'd I do, man? It was great, Mr. Mayer.
The scene really speaks for itself because you realize right from the beginning as he's stopping to get some sweat dabbed off, it's like he's entering on the stage and putting on a character or a persona, that he is the nice boss who has to play the martyr here.
You just give people what they need to know in an emotional way. You can expect they'll do the right thing.
Good acting performance is truthful in the sense that this feelings, the maybe principles of truth come from a real place, so that we as an audience, when we're acting a good acting performance, we sympathize with these characters because we perhaps have felt something similar in our lives. We perhaps get caught up in the emotion of the moment and feel with them and accept what's happening as true. That's what a good acting performance does, and that's what his good acting performance did. Swept everyone up in the emotion of the moment. All the more appropriate that this scene takes place with him being on a stage.
And all the world will be a stage. And you, perhaps, they're Shakespeare.
Later, after the rising concern that both L.B. Mayer and Irving Thalberg have in regards to Upton Sinclair, who is running for election in California, our main character, Herman Mankiewicz, finds himself in Thalberg's office getting grilled about him donating to the anti-Sinclair fund. Mank responds to this a little bit sarcastically, saying, "You don't even need me."
You can make the world swear King Kong is 10 stories tall and Mary Pickford a virgin at 40. Yet you can't convince starving voters that a turncoat socialist is a menace to everything Californians hold dear? You're barely trying.
As we know, this backfires on Mank because Thalberg takes that advice seriously. And the infamous newsreel was born. I guess this film, and I mentioned this a little bit in my review, is a critique on Hollywood and maybe a call for remembrance that it is a heavy responsibility that Hollywood has in guiding the masses, more or less. Like a good acting performance, that if we get caught up in the emotion of it, we believe it's true with them for a little bit and can then put it aside after the fact because we know it was just a performance. But those same skills used to manipulate politically are perhaps, something to be wary of. Now, there's nothing wrong with the film offering political persuasion or a political point of view. However, when you make a fake newsreel and accept it as the actual truth, that's completely different. In a world of fake news, this is this is a very interesting topic because plenty of fake news exists. And maybe this isn't so much a critique on Hollywood as it is a critique on just our news networks and treating their news stations as if they are a production company, putting on the most dramatic, the most relevant stories so that we, the masses, will pay attention to them. Because that's something I think is fair to assume, that newspapers and news stations and news sources are very clearly intending to offer persuasion politically and will manipulate facts, manipulate anything they can so as to persuade you to believe political party X is the good party and political party Y is the evil party, and everyone on political party Y's side is doing the exact same thing. Fill in the blank there with whatever one, because it's all one and the same, really. But I imagine Hollywood has used this power as well. They have to, we see in this film that they did at one point, or it's suggested that they did. It's suggested that they have. And I imagine they do still. I guess it's just an awareness of the power Hollywood has in guiding the masses. And even better yet, the power they have and the goal they have is to invoke emotional responses from each of us so we can perceive whatever's happening before us as truthful when perhaps it's not truthful. And then the second thing about this too, I think is it is important for us as audience members in these moments to be aware of that and to take responsibility for that. If I may call attention to another film that I really love. I love the Coen brothers. They are fantastic directors. And one of their more famous films, or one of the films that really, put them in the realm of serious filmmaking, I guess. I don't know. It was a big film for their careers. It was the film Fargo. The film Fargo starts off, they open this film with a caption, and maybe I'll just include a clip of it. And you watch the film, and as you're watching the film, you're like, this is wacky. Oh my gosh. This was all based on a true story. Holy crap, this is insane. And then after the film's done, if you went to look it up, you would find that none of it, hardly any of it, is based on a true story. They intentionally placed that in there because there's one minute detail of Fargo that's based on a true story, but the rest of the film is totally fiction. It serves its purpose within the film of Fargo, but I also think just the decision to do that is such an interesting observation of just the human condition. So I actually before I watched the film Fargo, I watched the first season of Fargo on FX, and they start the first episode with the exact same caption. And so I am just like, the entire time losing my mind about this, and I go to look up oh my gosh, where did this story take place? What do we know about this? And yada yada yada. And then it was just no, that's kind of that's how Fargo works. That's what they did in the film. It's a continuation of the film. It's not a true story. So I was like, oh, dang it. I kind of wish it was. And to a certain extent, it is truth. I think as it serves the purpose of Fargo, there is an element of it that's okay, this is true for the sake of, the story that I can get wrapped up in. I can put down the wall of, it's just a movie, and just go, whoa, this is based on a real thing, therefore being hooked into the film. It's a great hook into a film.
Aye, the hooks.
And it's ironically simple to just tell someone, hey, this is based on a true story. And then we all go, what? Oh, no way. I'm going to watch this movie now. And it's so cool. It's because it's based on a true story. And then you learn it's not. I think it's just an interesting observation of how gullible we are and how readily we are able to just accept information given to us, especially information given to us from a film or from a specific news source that we have deemed as noteworthy for whatever reason, without critically considering that at all. And I think that's something that maybe this film wants us to be aware of as well. It's so great to watch a film that really strengthens our political convictions and makes us feel glad we're a member of political party X or member of political party Y. However, we should maybe take everything, literally everything, even from the news sources that you enjoy or from the talk radio show hosts that you trust. We should always take that with a grain of salt and be willing to look things up afterwards. I think one of the most frustrating things about this, at least from what I've observed, perhaps the people who need to do that the most are the ones who then go, yeah, see, we all need to check our sources. Because, see, it's just like Rush Limbaugh says. See, checking our sources is so important. See, because I was watching CNN the other day. You know what I mean? And not that Rush Limbaugh is 100% wrong all the time, or was 100% wrong all the time, and CNN is 100% wrong all the time. However, these have both been sources that we know aren't 100% reliable either. I would just offer this as advice for you, me, and each of us. And a good way to end off my thoughts on this film. The film takes a minute to say,
If you just give people what they need to know in an emotional way, you can expect they'll do the right thing.
so if something is intending to invoke an emotional response out of you, and even if it does genuinely evoke an emotional response out of you, remember that just because something made you feel emotional doesn't mean it's true. Mank's critique on 1930s Hollywood is a critique that's totally applicable and relevant to our time, and that's why I think Mank should win Best Picture. Thank you so much for watching. Comment your thoughts on Mank below. I only really centered my arguments here on the main theme of the film, but you tell me what it is you liked about Mank. Are there any analytical points about Mank that I failed to mention here? I'm sure there are, so please drop it in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you do not miss out on any more Oscar-related content coming to you via this YouTube channel. More specifically, that you do not miss out on the next few episodes of Why It Should Win. Make sure you go check out those other episodes as well that I've already uploaded. Thank you so much for watching. Comment, like, subscribe. Bye-bye.